Welcome back to Album Review.
What's going on?
So this week I've got Opiate by Tool. This is their debut project. This is an EP they were released before Undertow in 92. Very raw sound for them. Compared to Undertow, this still has like a similar sound to that album. I know you haven't listened to that album, but if you ever heard their song Sober, it's in that same vein, kind of, but this is like a lot more of like a raw sound. Like they were still trying to find their roots before they would go into like the super math rock, and all the crazy shit that we know Tool for.
Yeah, that was pretty much the main thing I noticed when we listened to this, because the only album I have listened to by them was Fear Inoculum for a previous album review.
Yeah,
and it's very, very different from this album.
Yeah, very like just crazy, almost like a classical metal sound.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a lot different, and I guess I don't really have much other context, behind it other than like it's Tool, so there's gonna be some goofy shit in here, and it's gonna be a fun listen overall. That's what you're pretty much guaranteed with. But let's just jump into it. So what's the opening track?
First track is Sweat.
I really liked this opening track.
Me too. I thought it was a really good opener. It basically, this is where I was like, okay, this sounds nothing like Fear Inoculum, so I'm in for a treat, because that's the first thing I was going to say too. It just sounded very raw. Like the singing style was totally different from what I've heard of them before, I guess. But no, I thought it was really cool, this first song.
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was a pretty good way to open the album.
And I like how it had like faster paced singing on the verses and like leading up to the chorus, and then the chorus, like they would kind of slow it down and he would sing like kind of at half the speed he was before.
Yeah. So like there's still elements of them like messing with time signatures and whatnot even back then.
Yeah. But the next track is Hush.
I really liked Hush too.
Yeah.
There's a very aggressive one, which a lot of this album is just very heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, this one he kind of had like, he was singing a little bit softer on like the beginning part, and then I think like leading up to the chorus it got like a lot more aggressive. And like it had a really big sound, and the drums on this album were a main point. I feel like the driving beat behind all the songs here.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that was another good one for sure.
Yep.
The next track is Part of Me.
I really liked Part of Me.
I like this one too. And this one was the first one that kind of did have a little bit of the weird time signature thing that they use sometimes. Or just not weird time signature, but it's not like a, 4/4 or like something that you kind of can predict. Yeah,
it's not predictable. It keeps you on your toes in a way.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the first taste of them experimenting a little bit, I feel like. But other than that, I just really like the sound on this song, like the super grainy guitar and super deep bass. That's the other big characteristic of their music that I've noticed.
Definitely.
The bass is always like really deep, like it sounds like it's growling almost at times.
Yeah, you get a lot of that in these early projects, even in the newer ones too. So that's always been like a main focal point of Tool, and that's what I really appreciate about it.
Yeah.
Because like when bass is done well in music, you notice it.
Yeah, it's a big difference maker. And then the next track is the first of two live tracks that they have on here, Cold and Ugly.
This is probably my favorite song off the entire project to me personally.
This one was really cool.
I love the funny intro of them throwing the Bob Marley wannabe motherfucker out of the venue.
Yeah, was that just a random guy they were talking about?
I guess so. I don't know the context behind it, but I just thought that was really funny.
Yeah, it was funny to listen to their stage presence and how they're kind of, it fit with the genre they're in, I guess. But they were kind of being like a little, I don't know what the word is, like, I don't know. They were just like kind of coming right at the audience. Like, don't give a fuck.
Very confrontational band.
Yeah, confrontational. That was the word I was looking for. And then the next track, I guess do they fade into each other?
Yeah, they fade into each other.
So it's back to back during the live set, and then this one's called Jerk Off.
I like this one too.
Yeah.
I like it a little less than Cold and Ugly, but I really like this one.
This one had a lot of, or not a lot, but it had some super aggressive, like, screaming parts on it.
Yeah.
And they sounded great, like, for a live recording. Like, that probably would have been insane to see live.
Yeah, and he's just talking a lot of shit on this song about some jerk off.
Yeah.
Like, it's just very straightforward. Again, goofy Tool. And especially you get into the last track here, Opiate, which is the title track, longest track, and it's probably the one that most people know from this project, but I really like it.
Yeah, it's really good. But kind of what I was getting from it was the first half sounded almost like the most normal out of any of the tracks on the album. It sounded like something you would just hear playing on the radio.
Yeah.
And then it like strips it back and it's quiet, and then it just comes in like super aggressive towards the end, and the lyrics get a lot more aggressive too. So it kind of felt like they were trying to win people over, since they know it's one of their first, like, it's the first music that a lot of people would be hearing by them.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh yeah, this is pretty digestible, and then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, what the fuck is going on? Like, oh, it's
they just
crazy.
lay it out all on the table right there.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool about that track.
Yeah. And then there's like the little hidden part at the end, which is really strange.
Really weird.
He's talking about his friends doing drugs and like fucking a lazy boy and doing all this weird shit. It's like
he's a fire engine.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. He was hanging around with some weird people.
Yeah, you really get a feel for their like goofy energy right off the bat on this album. And
yeah.
I guess that kind of continues throughout some of their discography.
Yeah, I'd say most of it, if not all of it at this point, because they've always been like kind of goofy. And that's what I really appreciate about Tool, because going into Final Thoughts, it's like, they're just unique. And they're popular enough to like, not many people like, they have diehard fans, I'll say that though. Like, Tool fans are a different breed. But, like, they're not, like, super duper mainstream, what I'll say.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, they're not on, like, a Metallica level, but they've made an impact. Like, people know Tool, and they're just incredible. And this might be one of my favorite projects by them. Either this or probably, like, Lateralis or the first album, Undertow.
Okay.
Like, those are... Like, every Tool album's good, but this is, like, one of my favorite things they've done.
Yeah, this was another good listen to a Tool project. I think... It's totally different avenue than Fear Inoculum, so it was cool to kind of see a little bit more of their diversity. But no, I thought as a first project for them, like, very, very strong. Like, they really were just doing their thing from the very beginning, because kind of like it has the super serious sound of like music in the genre at the time did, but then they have their little goofy edge where the lyrics are kind of interesting sometimes, and they're just doing a lot of really interesting things within each song. So I thought it was a very good project.
Yeah, and to go to scores, I genuinely think I'm going to give this like a 9. I mean, I was going to go 9.5, but I think I'll stick with 9.
Okay.
But definitely my favorite Tool project, other than maybe like Lateralis, which has like the big hits off of it.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to give this one like an 8.
Alright.
It's very good. Parts of it just sounded, I guess, a less sophisticated version of their later music.
Yeah.
Like, especially with just the raw singing style, and you could tell they were kind of trying to figure out what they wanted to do with the singing style.
Yeah.
Because they were trying some different things on this album, but I thought overall, yeah, it was a very good EP, and it was a nice, easy listen.
Yeah, only 26 minutes, and you get a very early, raw, like, aggressive, like, immature Tool.
Yeah.
And it's fun listening to every single bit of it.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
So, what have you got for us next week?
So, it's sort of just an idea that I just came up with before the video, but it's an album that I don't know every track, but the ones that I do, I really, really like.
Alright.
So we're going to revisit some Radiohead.
Oh, shit, okay.
But last time we listened to what's probably their most popular album, OK Computer.
Yeah.
This one's an album from 2007 called In Rainbows. So it's a little bit less well-known of their music, but I think it's going to be a good listen for sure.
Alright.